just two things with flashing. So we notice when you do this drill, that's the guy throwing the flash is usually a lot of risk. So that's where leaning is a real lifesaver. Like leaning and throwing a flash is a real lifesaver. The other thing as well is just for accuracy on these doors. If you just pretty much aim for the middle of the door, they'll end up in the middle of the room roughly.
Yeah. No, the thing that I hit wasn't a door. It was actually this boom over here on the left. Yeah, I managed to hit it dead on, and it just fell. There was no physics whatsoever. Yeah, it was just unfortunate.
Okay, so how did you guys find... Oh, interesting. How do you guys find this? Any comments? How did it go?
Training.
It was a bit faster than usual.
Bad situation where the guy started shooting at me, even when I was still behind the door, busy entering the room. And he basically had shots on me before I could even have sight of him.
I went in first, went to my corner, and as I was engaging the first guy, I got shot from behind already. He was on us really quick.
Well, yeah, so obviously when you go to a new room, it's best to just be a bit more silent, but this is kind of a case where maybe the flashbang didn't actually work for guys. So situation this might be an argument for like then just checking the middle guy before you go inside, perhaps. Most of the time not needed, flashbangs work. But this is where the third man is really helpful.
One thing
he's talking about was a guy who was in my corner. So he wasn't in the middle of the room. It's a guy in my corner.
No, he was behind. So I went left, and he was behind the opened door in the other corner. But he started shooting real fast.
Flashbang didn't help. Yeah. So So I think that's the fact that none of you died did still work in this worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Yes.
So okay. So
the size of the team or squad that went in there wasn't it a bit too much?
Yes, which is excellent for this training. It's excellent for this training because you're learning how to manage if there do happen to be too many people inside a building. You guys generally had a thing flowing and you didn't have that many disruptions. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Okay.
Yeah.
Felix, the thing I just want to ask is, me and M, we entered second, and then the first room was cleared by the first team that entered, and then the second us, and then the third room was cleared again by the first, and then they cleared the fourth as well.
But you're re-clearing the same rooms.
No, what I mean is the first team cleared 2 rooms and we cleared 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you
sorry, I mean
a refund.
I mean,
it just mean we went out of order.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. So the first team cleared 3 and we cleared 1.
Quiet was our 5th man, so you had to have a turn on the 4th room.
So
what matters? Okay.
It's all about being dynamic. If there are 2 rooms in adjacent to one, and the other team is coming out, and you're still holding security, and they come out in front of you, then they just form up team number 1 and 2 again. Member 1 and 2. Yeah.
So shouldn't. So in general, you don't want to get anal about the order because what matters is how Bucky said, being dynamic, and what's important is that the team has good cohesion and knows what's going on, is working together, and doesn't matter if you don't get exactly the right order because in actual combat. Things aren't going to go your plan anyway. What matters is the flexibility and able to deal with the situation.
Also, one more thing. Who here noticed that the moment somebody started talking after Phoenix said start in 5 seconds, that one of the NPCs actually called out the direction, southeast? That is why it's important, if you know you've got the element of surprise, don't say anything if it's not needed. Because one reason, they will look to your direction, you walk across that doorway, and they will shoot through that door. And then you'll be dead.
Does Whisper help?
It does.
It does, but the problem is when you're this close to the enemy, it's probably not going to help enough. It's useful if you're in the open, like several tens of meters away, not so much in close quarters like this.
Okay.
I think they can hear your footsteps as well, so if you're not...
I mean, you can try it, but what's going to happen is you're going to go over to the door, enemies could be running the other side, and be like, and you could say to your buddy, "Do you think you can hear us?" And then you'll hear, "Enemy southwest, 5 meters." So that's probably what you'll hear.
Frag
Or
out.
just yeah.
Yeah. So in armor in particular, so crossing closed doorways is very dubious. Even if a doorway is closed, crossing it if it's not being cleared is very dubious. I see some people do it. But in armor in particular, it's not a good idea because the AI do have a suppression mechanic where even if they know roughly where you are and they know you're hostile, then they can open up even if they can't see you. And that goes through doors as well. Okay, so guys, we're going to now do limited breach clearance. So follow me. Okay, so what's going to happen is so this is now slightly different. So what you did over there was dynamic entry. It's basically where you, as soon as the breach is created, you go inside as quickly as possible. Everyone clear the room. Now, sometimes you want to do limited breach clearance. Actually, let me bring up some. Let me see. I have the note because I did actually make some useful notes in terms of when it's actually used. You see basic room clearance. Yeah, so external clearance or limited breach clearance as opposed to dynamic entry where you clear the room entirely on entry. Clear as much of the room as carefully systematically from the outside before making entry as normal. Only difference is instead of going in when the door opens, the first man pies to the other side of the door. I'll go through it just now. So this is used when. So limited breach clearance is used when there's room to pie the door and without exposing your back to new threats. So the limited breach clearance actually just briefly clears, like say, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Basically, where you just pie, the first man pies, and then once he's pied the entire room, then he goes inside. So the second man, I think we decided it was generally best. The second man just observes what happens, and as soon as he sees him go inside, then he goes inside and follows him, like goes over here, whatever. Flashing is optional. If he wants, he can do flash beforehand. He can flash it, and then he can go and do this. And before he goes in again, if he wants extra security, he can ask for a flash again, and the second man will just go in around and just flash it, and then they'll go inside together. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, although the nice thing about limited breach clearance, as I'll mention again just now, is that you can actually, if you don't have any flashbangs, this is actually the best way to clear a room. So, so use when there's room to pie the door and without exposing your back to new threats. Like I was saying, the barracks building that you're doing just now, the last one you did, you can't actually pie in there. There's very little room, and as soon as you pie it, then your back is directly in front of the room of the next uncleared room. So a limited breach clearance doesn't really work for that building, but it's actually useful for most buildings. So the other use of this is when you don't have flashbangs or other means to prepare the room. So that's good. When the room is too large for a flashbang to be effective. So sometimes like a really big room, one flashbang won't cut it. So you probably want to do limited breach clearance anyway. And also when the resistance is too great to clear entirely on dynamic entry. So even with a flashbang, if there's like 10 guys in the room, you probably want to do limited breach clearance with flashbangs in addition to that. If there's just too many enemies, too much resistance inside the place. Okay, does it make sense?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. So also one thing as well, if with limited breach clearance, you don't have to use a doorway. You can also use windows. So you can also, or you can have like third and fourth man, instead of just providing security, they can also literally just pie the windows as well when the clearance starts and try and make sure clear as much of the building from the outside as possible. That's pretty much all there is to it before you go inside. Okay. So I'll just do one certain example. So unaided and exiler, go ahead and do it over here. Oh, did he ask for a flashbang?
No, he didn't. That was a misclick, sorry.
Yeah. No, but always pay attention to first man. He's always right. Okay. Okay, good. So the positions at the end. So Exile, you stopped here, which is good. Don't do over penetration, as in don't go further inside the room than you need to. So Exile can stop like right over there, and then unaided you can stop like what you did over there. That's fine. It's actually not much room anyway. So you don't want to go deeper in the room than you need to clear the center from multiple angles. So you don't need to go down to the opposite corners or anything like that. Also the important thing is that you don't want to go too far in, but you also don't want to stay too close to the door. Make sure the door is always nice and clear for other people to come inside in and help, like the third man. Okay, so any questions, everyone? Okay, so also one other note is like with a smoke, if I drop a smoke, if you do dynamic entry and you throw a flashbang over here, this won't affect the guy in the opposite corner. So that's kind of one other example of why limited breach clearance could be useful for certain kind of rooms like this. I mean, it will affect the guy down there, but not only for 2 seconds. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do the far room over there. Exactly how we did this room. I want groups of 3. We're going to do it twice for each group, and then that'll be that. Okay. So first 3 men come up.
Okay.
Okay, in 5 seconds, go.
Attaquez ces fusils derrière vous.
If you're pinned down, it's probably a good time to start asking. You should be one throwing it.
Ready?
Going 5 out position, 2 down.
Just kill the last guy. Okay, I'm going to just full heal you guys. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Come back. Yeah, just it's kind of messed up already. Just come back out to me. So, what do you guys? What went wrong over there?
Before I entered the room, I didn't reload. And actually...
Yeah. Well, there's 2 things. So first of all, obviously the first man should never be the one throwing the grenades because at least it's particularly in real life in armor it's not as bad because it's very quick to switch between grenades and weapons. Okay. But the first man always have the gun out for any surprise, any moment, and this other guy throws a grenade. So it's best that the second man throws a grenade for you. Also, the second thing, if you did start throwing flashes as soon as you got pinned down, so that's where you kind of systematically work the room. You pie systematically, and you throw flashes as many as you need to do the job to not get killed. But right after you threw the first flashbang, before you even finished pieing, you then made entry. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So just if you're going to pie, just do it properly. Pie as much as you can, flash as much as you need. Once you've pied as much as you can, then only go inside. And if you still feel it's dangerous, then do another flash before you go inside. You can ask for as many flashes as you want with this thing. Just ask for it verbally, flash it if it's not going to be clear, anything like that. If you say if you want, just say flash far. If you want to have a certain part of the room flash as well.
Okay.
Okay. So actually, you know what? I think because it went quite badly, I think I'll just have you guys do it 2 more times actually. So same rolls.
Same rolls. Okay.
Okay. In 5 seconds, go.
Contact.
Okay. Okay.
What is going on? Gun jam.
Hostile.
Okay.
Hostile.
1 down.
Enemy.
Hey. That's probably a good idea to drag him out. Okay, so probably good time. You know what? Just for the sake of time,
Okay.
I'm just gonna heal you. You're at the back, Ramcat. Okay, go. You're in front now.
Peek around the corner, take out, and then flash again, and then we enter.
Just say again.
So we flash before I peek around the corner, and then we flash again.
Again before we. Yeah.
You're not going to
Give me
see
a
people in
flash
the,
fall.
far near corner. So this is
Yeah,
this
flash
is where
fall
make
near
entry with the
corner.
flashbang is probably most useful.
Don't enter, don't enter.
Flash out.
Don't.
Clear.
Room clear.
Room clear. Coming out.
Coming out.
Sorry, folks, just want to.
Okay.
I stopped in the doorway there, it was bad.
Yeah, and you. But I think the reason you were in permanent lean as well. Your
Yeah.
double tap lean thing. Yeah. I wonder if everyone should. I wonder if anyone ever actually uses double tap lean.
I actually used it on purpose so that I could buy easier, but yeah, it worked against me.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. So you got stuck over there with the thing. So yeah. Also, brute force. You were shot again. So what happened over there? I forgot. One of the ask.
No, I didn't get shot. I had a weapon jam.
Oh, sorry. It wasn't you. It was Ramcat. Sorry. What happened there?
Get shot.
Yo, you were unconscious and I healed you.
Sorry. Yeah, you were on the ground, Ramcat.
Oh, that's the first time, yeah.
Well, this is actually the first
Oh,
time,
well,
maybe.
yeah.
But what happened over there?
I actually leaned, but the guy saw me and he shot me.
Yeah. So remember, the person inside the room always has the advantage. So if your position is zeroed in, you have to use a distraction device like a flashbang. To be honest, what I noticed works well against the AI. So I don't know if this is necessarily the best way of always doing it, but
Yeah. So what happened is I leaped the pipe in. I had the click or weapon malfunction. Step back and then
Yeah. Yeah, so communication is always good. Also, by the way, stepwise, don't do a stepwise. That might be because you're exposing yourself to a lot more men. Unless you go straight to the opposite corner first, and then you can see everyone there. You communicate. Oh, there's this guy here, there, and then you other two guys deal with it. So then that can work out. But anyway, okay, so that's the goal. Okay, go in.
Danger! Contact!
Flash for.
Go to a crouch. Down. Bounce to the right. Give me reflash.
Yeah, I'm it.
One injury on Ramcat. Okay, but room clear. FM room clear. Okay, just come after me, and then...
Yeah.
Okay, so, Ramcat, what do you think? How to go over there?
Yeah, when the flash went, I kind of moved in already, but the flash wasn't that effective.
Yeah, when I threw it, it bounced to the right instead of going deep. So I tried to stop him from going in, but I should have been more assertive.
Yeah. I mean, everyone responded. Yeah. Yeah, and I did hear you. So I think make sure you're always communicating with each other in that regard as well.
No, was already on.
I think the one good thing is when he committed, I just went with him.
Yeah, that is good. So he only got wounded rather than killed.
Just Phoenix, the second guy, Nobu seemed fairly safe where he was behind him. When can a second guy actually go across the door to be behind the second commander?
Well, things when we first were doing this, and we had it by default always go in, and it was a bit complicated and work out. So I think when the first man needs him, I would say.
Okay.
I guess
what people think.
He's pied or
Yeah, if he's pied it, then you can go across. Then yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now, next 3 men come forward. One thing I just want to add as well, that's very handy, is increase your distance from the door when you pie it, because that also helps. Like, that will help your situation as well. Because each step means less of you has at least less of you is exposed. Okay, go in 5 seconds.
Everyone reloaded.
Flash again.
Second flash.
Cool, room clear. Just double tapping.
Clear. Unaided down.
Yeah, well, Seamus was helped by medics, so I'll just going to full heal them. Okay, you forgot to double tap the guys in the corner as well. On the far side, I mean.
They need help as well, please.
Henry, who died.
Full healed, everyone come back.
Using the body bag.
We've decided to follow the 2 times flash approach by first flashing, then piking around the corner, and then flash again and then make entry. But as I made entry, I got stuck on the guy in front of me, so I don't know if you guys could get in or if I was standing in the doorway. But I couldn't get past the first guy while I was approaching the other 3 guys standing on the other side of the wall.
I just think the second flash doesn't go as deep. We could have stayed at the other side, and the second flash would have gone deeper. You're very quiet.
No, I think we did well. I got hurt, but
Sorry.
But we did well.
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
Can I say something?
You morphing me instead of yourself.
Ach, je mag.
So basically, the
Whoops, sorry,
one thing that I noticed is the flashes, both of them that you threw in, went to the far end corner. They were completely ineffective for the entire room about halfway through. That's why when you guys rushed in, the 3 at the far end of the room were able to open fire completely, took out the unaided bag, Quiet and Bombskok would probably gone down as well. I don't know how you guys survived that. But yeah, there wasn't enough, limited breaching being done.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Now I
we
can.
need,
Okay, so I wasn't able to speak earlier. So, kind of what you're saying. The thing that limited breach clearance enables you to do is that you can then throw a grenade from the opposite side of the doorway. Other across the doorway. You can then throw it over there, and that enables you to get in deeper in the room, as Exile was saying.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say to Quiet, that we could have stopped at the other side and then I could have thrown the flash so to go deeper.
Yeah, I mean, the concept was good, just you had insufficient preparation of the room itself. Yeah, so also it's called pieing. Limited breach clearance is the concept of clearing as much of the room from the outside as possible before you go inside. So, like, you're doing minimal breaching and you're clearing it. And then pieing is a technique you use most for that. Okay, switch roles.
I might need a bit more ammo. I'm very low on ammo.
No, not this time.
Get a mag or two from your buddy.
Who has a mag to spare? Please?
Ja.
Bakkies.
Ja. Shame.
Sien jy ook die Spaghetti God Monsters vanaand?
Another one, yeah.
Ek het een recording gedryf en dit is funny.
It's snacks.
Okay, you guys ready?
Quite ready.
Okay, I've got it.
Okay, different roles, right? Okay.
All flash.
Who else needs to go, yeah?
Okay, go in 5 seconds.
So him and Exala.
And I think you.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I can step in as a third.
Well, I haven't gone yet, Chairman.
Alright, go for it then.
Thanks. Yeah, I've got some really good footage. So I think one
Excellent.
POV would be nice.
Yeah, very nice. The only thing I would probably add two things. One, you forgot. It's still one enemy left alive, just unconscious. And the other thing is, whoever's going along this near wall, just make sure you stay along the wall. Then you would have had a line of sight sooner. To the civilian wouldn't have been blocking you. You were charging towards the enemy, but keeping the civilian between you and him. So you was unless you intended to use the civilian as a shield to get close to the enemy. Okay, next three up.
Come,
I
Exala.
didn't got hit this time. Good.
Holy shit, you're gonna...
Okay, go in 5 seconds.
What's quite spectacular.
Trying to be. Something is not working like that.
That is, you had a raw teal with all those enemies on the wall.
Austin! Contact!
You want a flash?
Yeah, do flash mid.
Flash out.
I'm flashed.
Room clear.
Double tap.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah. Coming
excellent.
up.
Okay, so one guy was left alive at the far end. Anyway, yeah. So anyway,
in
one
the
thing.
corner?
No, I think in the middle. I can't remember. Okay, so generally went well. There was only one significant problem, and that was after Bucky said he was flashed, which is fine. Then Exiler went in without a stack commander, basically. Yeah, and then Mr. M was like, "Oh shit, he's going in and all alone," and he went in and supported him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was just a bit too far away from him. I did concept that Bucky's were placed. So I should have been more closer to him.
No, but it's good that the third man is checking to make sure if anything's going wrong. But Exiler, you shouldn't have to rely on the guy being super attentive for you to stay alive.
True.
So, yeah.
No,
so
I should have called in. Going in.
No, we have a drill. Just stack up and then have him. There's no reason. It's probably safer to make sure the stack is cohesive and then flash again if you need to before you go inside, rather than like in the minutes. Oh shit, he's blind. I gotta run in, and oh shit, I have no spot. Then it's more like Three Stooges than a proper stack.
True. I must say the only reason I actually ran in was because it was a split-second decision. If you wait any longer, then the flash effectiveness is lost.
So yeah, it did both. So it did work, but it's also an unnecessary gamble. Remember, the guys in general, when it comes to CQC, you don't cut corners. You do things properly, because if you don't, then that's kind of when mistakes happen and people get killed and Three Stooges situations happens. So it's best to just do it properly. If you need to reflash again, and reorganize and do that.
Cool.
Okay, you did this once only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go change roles if you haven't already. Yeah, it looks like you have. Okay. Go in 5 seconds.
Let me go in the back.
Sure.
Hostile! Danger! Tirez sur ce soldat!
Support one.
I don't have a flash.
Okay, I'll flash. You go take point.
Okay.
Just pie first. Pie system. Just wait before.
Okay.
I can't drag him.
At this point, you probably want to just take a pause and drag your guy back, do buddy aid, and then resume the clearance.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, there we go. Thanks.
Also, ideally, this is what we actually call support 1, so they can continue the clearance while he's getting buddy aid, so he still have 2 men.
Right.
But
I'll call support 1.
I'll do like I did for the other team. I'll full heal MSN, go to the back.
Alright. Flash into the middle room.
Okay, are you taking point?
Yep.
Okay, I'll flash behind you. Just wait.
Move it.
Support 1. I'm dragging guy out. Room clear. On my side, just double tap on
Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll end next if it was room clear. Okay, I'm just gonna full heal him. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Say something before you clear the bodies.
Okay.
Oh my god, no way. So, from my perspective, that guy that shot me was behind my scope while I was prone. I could not see him.
Okay, so let's just go back so people could hear. So.
I got killed because of my own equipment.
Okay, so Mr. M, the one thing I can say that could help you is obviously with the pieing be systematic, but also increase the distance from the door. That's the best thing that can help you. Like I was saying to the other guys, you can probably test it out yourselves, like with two people on both sides, to see how it looks. But basically, if you're further away from the door, then it's every test step you take, it's smaller, less and less exposure. And so that maximizes your chance of survival there, and also easier to escape if you do get shot. Okay, can you guys see me?
Yeah, we can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now when you guys went inside, it does happen where sometimes you might get like just way too many enemies and support comes in, so that's good, I guess. I know if Exala, you can give any insight on that.
Yep. It actually does help. When the moment M went down, Bucky's called in support 1. I immediately knew to just go in instead of wondering should I go for it or not.
Oh yes, the other thing I want to say as a minor thing. So Bucky's, it's best that you treat the guy inside the room, because you're literally the medic who knew the room was clear. You're calling it was clear. I don't know if you're a medic in this situation, and then you were dragging him out of the room anyway. So if the room is cleared, that's the best place to treat a guy, in a cleared room.
Yeah, I thought it was dragging him out as well.
Yeah. Okay. Did anyone else not go yet?
I think we all went.
No, everyone went.
Cool. Excellent. Okay. So unfortunately, it's 10, so we don't have time to do corridor clearance.
I'm with that.
Oh, do you not like corridor clearance?
No. I'm still sick, so yeah.
Mate, you shouldn't be staying up till 10 if you're coughing like that. Says the guy who does that anyway.
I'm still disappointed that I couldn't join last night. I mean, Sunday night.
Look, I appreciate the commitment, but your health always comes first.
Okay, so in terms of, I think in terms of picture, we'll do a slightly stylized. So you guys in front of this wall, and then I'll just have a bit of the corridor down here. So between the dead guy and the wall.
Quiet.
Yes.
Is it your body?
That's Bombstock.
Oh, is it Boomskook?
What? What am I doing there?
It's the tag says it's you.
I was just taking a nap.
At least you've got a blanket.
Henry was with us. Okay, that's only 11 now. Okay. Okay, picture taken. Okay, so guys, how do you find the CQC?
As always, educational.
Educational.
So I did want to make sure to go through just I noticed that you guys were kind of forgetting some of the basic stuff, like not executing it. And then what do you guys think of the procedures?
I think so. As Spick said at the pieing or the lost room, it seems that people throw in a flash and they think it's now invisibility shield, and then they just follow instead of trying to peek into the far end before completely exposing themselves.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys all do the pieing pretty much quite well on those rooms over there. It's exactly the same thing, an individual thing.
There is just one question I did have. In the last room, some of what I was spectating, I noticed the second man staying behind the guy that's the point man that's doing the pieing. Isn't that dangerous? I mean, like what happened with Mr. M, he got shot. If I was behind him, I would have also gotten shot. Not true?
Like I said when I was first explaining it, I say that the second man stays on the near side, on the near side, until the first man needs him or he's completed his pie, and then the second man can prepare to go inside with him or something like that. But I don't think it's actually the ideal way to enter a room is actually with two people on opposite sides of the door anyway, so that both people are button hooking. That's actually
Just one thing: if the first man is here finished buying, he can actually do a flash for the second man to come in because he is already at the angle for flash.
Yeah, I know that is also tempting, but I mean, you can probably get away with that. But as a general rule, you don't want the flash. you don't want the first man to ever like lower his weapon, because he's the first line of defense. If anyone if any enemy decides, I'm going to charge you, because all these enemies are forcefully static, but you can have enemies decide to move out to attack you, and then if the first man doesn't have a gun up, then no one is like, the whole stack is at risk.
And also the first man already has an idea of what the room looks like.
Yeah, so just use your words, communicate, and that'll also get your team in the mood of in the habits of talking to each other and solving the problem. Okay, so I think next time probably corridor clearance, and then it will be very fun mazes that you guys love. Opposite sides, which will implement like one's just a corridor, the other one is actually corridor plus a lot of these kinds of rooms with some difficult rooms and stuff. So it's kind of put everything together, and then also breach entry planning. We should have time to do that at least. So hopefully, maybe with the building we have on Sunday. All right. So I think I'm gonna end the mission. Nice and quick.